Thank you. Well, it is very hard to follow our leader, Harry Reid, and Tom Harkin. I just want to say this about Harry. These are tough times for our country in so many areas. Thank God we have Harry Reid as the majority leader in the United States Senate today. A couple of months ago, heard on the television, radio, saw in the newspapers, a bunch of people are ganging up. And they have this brilliant idea that they want to privatize Social Security. These multimillionaires, and in some cases billionaires, think it's a great idea to cut benefits for working people when they get to Social Security age. They want to raise the retirement age. Now think of those guys who are banging nails today at 70 years of age, banging nails. I don't think so. I don't think the nurses in this country are going to be lifting patients at 70 years of age. That's not what we're going to allow to happen. Now, I'll tell you why. Some of our Republican friends really hate Social Security. Do you know why they hate Social Security? Because it is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is working. Before Social Security, 50% of seniors in this country lived in poverty. Before Social Security, when people had problems with disabilities, they were out there on their own. Before Social Security, if a wife lost her husband, Tom Harkin talked about that, had a bunch of kids, she was out on her own begging to survive. Social Security has worked. Today, instead of 50% of the elderly being poor, the number is too high, but it's down to 10%. And we're doing all of that at a very modest administrative cost. As the majority leader has said, and I want you all to think about it, because one of the problems that we have is that people take Social Security for granted. Think about it. This is what the majority leader just said. For 75 years, in good times and in bad times, when the folks on Wall Street a few years ago destroyed our economy, all right? When millions of people lost their lifetime savings, Social Security was there paying out every nickel owed to every eligible American. Let's not forget that. Now, there are some people who say, you know, we have a serious deficit problem. We do. $1.6 trillion deficit, $14 trillion debt. And these people then conflate. They say, well, we have this huge deficit problem. We got to cut Social Security. And as the majority leader said, anybody who tells you that Social Security has contributed one nickel to our deficit or national debt is simply not telling you the truth. Well, you use that word. Social Security today has a $2.6 trillion surplus. Social Security today can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 26 years, at which point it could pay out 78% of benefits. And as Tom Harkin just mentioned, if we want Social Security to be strong for the next 60, 70 years, you lift that cap, start at $250, ask the billionaires to start contributing. And the other point to be made, is Social Security is not funded by the U.S. Treasury. Social Security is funded by the payroll taxes that working people and their employers have put into it. Now, if you want to talk about the deficit, talk about the wars. Talk about tax breaks for billionaires. Talk about the Wall Street bailout. don't talk about Social Security. There are some people who say, well, you know, Social Security is just a bunch of IOUs. Well, tell that to the folks on Wall Street who own Social Security bonds. They're going to get paid. Tell that to our friends in China who have invested in U.S. Treasury bonds. They're going to get paid. And you know what? Everybody on Social Security is going to get paid as well. Let me conclude by reading this, and this is an important statement. This is what the Social Security Trust Fund bond says, and I quote, "This bond is incontestable in the hands of the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund. The bond is supported by the full faith and credit of the United States, and the United States is pledged to the payment of the bond with respect to both principal and interest," end of quote. In other words, Social Security is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. It has never once failed. It is not going to fail. And our job right now is to stand up to those people who are attacking Social Security, not for financial reasons. They are attacking it for ideological and political reasons. We're going to stand up, hands off Social Security. Thank you very much.